Is it selfish to ask your spouse for affection? That's the topic of today's video. If you find your marriage is in trouble right now, please download our free marriage rescue handbook at hopeformymarriage.com. Is it selfish for you to ask for affection within your marriage? And I want to start by saying that each person communicates affection differently. In fact, a book I would recommend that anyone read, and I'll put a link in the description, is The Five Love Languages. The Five Love Languages talks about the different means of communicating love and affection that people use. That could be words of affirmation, acts of service, quality time, gifts, touch. All of those are ways of communicating affection. And the truth is that most often, a husband and wife are going to have a different love language. In our household, for example, my wife and I have been married for 33 years. Her love language is words of affirmation. What she needs to hear daily is, I love you, you're beautiful, you're special, those types of things. On the other hand, my love language is quality time and touch. And so if she will spend time with me, if she will hold my hand or rub my back or place a hand on my shoulder, that means the world to me. That says, I love you more than anything else. And this isn't a sexual touching. This is just a day-to-day affirming touch. Now, one of the things we found early in our marriage is we were trying to speak to one another using our preferred love language. And what was happening is we were missing each other, and it felt as though we were not getting the affection we were so desperately wanting from one another. And so we had to learn what our love languages were and then how to communicate in that love language. So again, my wife's biggest love language is words of affirmation. Her second one is gifts. And so I have to realize that I've got to be intentional about speaking her language on a daily basis. I have to be intentional about doing things for her so that she knows that I truly love her. Now, when she tells me I love you every day, I appreciate that, but it doesn't really stir anything deep in me. But if she'll put a hand on my shoulder, a hand on my back, if she'll, hold my hand, sit there with me, even if all we're doing is watching TV, that means the world to me. If I'm out running errands and she tags along with me, that means the world to me. Those are my love languages. And so when we learn to speak each other's love language, what we find is we can raise the affection level within our marriage. Now, back to the question, is it selfish to ask for more affection? It's not selfish to ask for more affection, especially if it's being communicated in a love language that's not your love language. So there's nothing wrong with saying, I appreciate the fact that you tell me I love you every day. One of the things I would love, though, is if you would spend some additional time with me. We don't have to be doing anything active. I just want to hang out with you. That means the world to me. Or if we reverse that, she says, I appreciate the fact that, you're always putting a hand on my shoulder or giving me a hug, but what I really need to hear from you is I love you every day. And so that's a communication issue where we just need to talk openly and not in a selfish manner, but just simply saying, this is one of the things that I really desire from you in our relationship. Is there a way we could build more of that into the relationship? Anyway, just a few thoughts for you today. Hope you find those helpful, and I'll talk to you again soon.